Anthony Fornetti, I got to tell you, I'm surprised he's starting third. Now, Tom Fowler's always fast in these Miatas, and Anthony Fornetti may be a little bit underpowered. He's the first NA car. NB is just a little bit newer, a little bit higher displacement, but Anthony Fornetti knows how to drive it. It is his first time here, and I have to make a correction. This is what I love about this. So if you're watching from social media, please leave a comment or even corrections, because his dad came up to me in the paddock and said, last time I said they were from Wisconsin, and he said, we're actually Ubers. We're from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh,
so
there's
an editorial correction.
That's
I'm sorry,
fighting
Anthony.
talk right there.
It is.
Let me ask you this then. You've got 1,600 and 1,800 geared engines. I'll get to that in a moment because we're about to go racing.
You take it.
Here we go for the Mazda Miata Heritage Cup. The pace car is off, and we are about to go racing. Away they go. Field spreading out. Good start from Boris Said Jr. He's already made up one spot already as the lead group start to spread out.
Anthony Fornetti ducks into the inside, takes the inside. We can't really see. And there is Boris Said Jr. in that number 78 Advanced Autosports. I want to thank Ben and his crew for bringing that car out here, and they've done a great job. They actually changed the transmission in 42 minutes.
Wow. That's no mean feat. So away we go then, and already starting to build up on the lead. Really good field of Miatas, and we had this discussion last time out at COTA. How does Miata kind of qualify for SVRA?
Well, they came out in 1989.
Sure.
There's no car that's being raced more across the world than a Mazda Miata. They kind of, like MG or Austin Healey did with their Sprites and Midgets and MGBs back in the 50s and 60s. This is kind of the more modern version of that British sports car, but with Japanese reliability, and it always makes for some great racing. I think right now we've got Robert Spence in front. We can't quite see as they come down this long, what we call back straight that isn't quite straight, but look at that. They're side by side. In this class, Jonathan, we do not allow contact, but there is drafting, as we see Anthony Fornetti
some
take
long
the lead.
drafting here. Yeah, Fornetti getting a good way. The three of them now side by side coming into 10. Here we go. Something's got to give. Who's going to take it?
Looks
Great
like
three-way battle.
Fornetti and then Fowler. Right
Fowler
next to him is
led
Robert
right
Spence.
from the start.
Yep, there we go. So it's Fornetti, Fowler, and Spence as they come down the treacherous turn 12.
Coming down the main straight again then. So first lap completed, and Anthony Fornetti leads the way in the red, white, and black.
Oh, but Cash is coming up alongside Spence into one.
The 00 also going for position. Mark Cash looking for an inside move, can't get it done. And it is Fornetti, Fowler, Spence. And the field spreading out. Cash is fourth, Crosh. Then Boris Said Jr. in sixth position. And we are focusing or featuring him simply because his father obviously is a big star of Trans Am. And for Boris Jr., just 16 years of age, is his first real go at racing.
But I tell you what, I've watched his in-car from his first two practice sessions. I'm not going to be surprised if we don't see him in Trans Am or in some kind of professional series. It looks like he's got the bug.
Alan Cross there just holding off the 00. And then comes Said. Mark Cash it is in the 00. He's lost a couple of places as they go through 7. Fantastic shots here from high above. Now we'll talk about that drafting again. Explain how you get into position to do that here.
Well, I've talked to the Spec Miatas, and it goes differently by different classes, but they were saying the fastest train in Miata is about 4 cars, and they just go side by side. So basically, the first car breaks the wind like geese flying in a V, and then they're just trying to like slingshot out. So you just get right behind them and then pick your time to come out, just right there like Fowler did on Fornetti.
Yeah. He's done exactly that, and Fowler picks up the lead then. Tom Fowler comes under the bridge and down towards the final corner. A three-way battle at the front starting to immerse. Fornetti in second place now. Let's see if they improve their times for their first laps.
Now that's a good draft line right there. So right now it looks like Spence has the good position. If he can come out of turn 7 in that number 3 position, look for him in a close draft. Look for him to move up to the front at 10A.
Well, let me ask you a tough question. Is there a Miata era, because these are all old cars and they're very similar, but is there a particular year that is just more competitive?
Yeah, every time they come out with a new iteration of Miata, they make improvements on that. But right now in our group, we only allow the NAs and NBs, and it's part of their serial number. I did find that out from last time.
What is NA and NB?
So NA, that's just NA is the first series, the pop-up headlights, like Anthony Frenetti's driving.
Yeah.
But the NA actually just is part of their VIN number or serial number.
Like
a K code or something like that.
Well, it means not applicable to me, but never mind.
Yeah, yeah. And somebody said it means no acceleration and no brakes, but it's actually a VIN number thing. But and then the NBs, right now they have more horsepower, but because of driver skill, it's still a very even field of cars, as we see Anthony Frenetti in an NA really keeping up and sometimes being faster than these NBs.
Well, that slingshot you're talking about is just about to happen for Frenetti, and he does just that. He comes side by side, gets out of the slipstream, pops out, and he's got the racing line now into 10 for sure. He just needs to stay exactly where he is. Oh, and I say that, and the 66 breaks 68, excuse me, of Tom Fowler breaks so late that he's able to hold position.
Yeah.
Frenetti did exactly everything right there. There's not more he can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you just witnessed there is what everybody told Tony Perella would never happen. But we just had a proper vintage race overtaking, and there was no contact in our Spec Miata race. So these guys have adapted to the vintage racing mantra of no contact and having some of the best racing of their lives as Frenetti ducks out into one.
And a great shot through as Frenetti takes the lead. Perfect timing. And up the hill and into the lead through the S's. That's the perfect way to do it because you really can't overtake up until, turn 6? So he's got this lead now unless he makes a big mistake. All the way down the hill to 5, and now he'll start to clamber up the hill once he's got through this S's. Here he comes into the left-hander, and now the third-place man, number 59. That's Robert Spence, who had led for a moment.
Yeah, look at the smile on Anthony's car. Look at how much fun that thing is having. If you aren't having fun watching this, then you're probably just not a car person because this is so much fun to watch.
Yep, Mark Cash has been fighting very hard with the 49 of Alan Cross for the last 2 laps, and as they come through 7 again, it's Cross's chance now to crisscross him down in the safety into the slipstream, and here comes the leaders. And we've got 2 distinct groups. We've got a 3-way battle at the front, then a 2-way battle for 4th. Now, watch again.
And if that group of 2 works together, and I've seen this a lot in our Formula V classes, if they get back like that, they'll work together and not pass each other for a whole lap just to catch up to the lead group, and then it's game on again.
So back.
Fowler in the lead.
Goes Fowler into the lead.
So we've had 3 lead changes in a lap. You got to love that.
So Frenetti still in this group as they come down the hill towards 12. I love these drone shots, especially for this sort of racing, because you get a much better idea of the clusters and the battles, and also of the slipstreaming. Here it comes again. Frenetti pops out, got the slipstream, takes the lead, and that is a classic overtake at 1.
Yeah, Frenetti likes that look there, so look for him to do that in the last lap.
Skylar Cottrell in the all pink, just going through shot in the 99 in another group of 3. Now, do they make sort of plans to get together on track and try to stream?
Yes. If you go back and watch some of our races that I just posted on our social media from Road America, you will actually see the drivers. Sometimes you hear about point by racing. This is not point by racing. They're telling them, all right, now you can pass me here, and they work together as a team with hand signals. It's really fun to see.
It's almost like peloton racing. It's almost like
cycle
racing.
It's like long-term cycling racing, because they run each other's draft, and the person in the lead can see he's lost it. So he's like, hey, pass me on the right, and I'll come back and get you. But they do work together to try to catch the faster lead. It's really
good. Doing a really good job of holding off that other driver. Really, really impressive.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what that was is we have a microphone at our drone position, and one of the cars in our awesome car show just had some open headers and just passed us.
All good stuff. Anyway, the battle at the front continues. Down towards 10 again. Frenetti can't defend. And through goes Fowler. Back into the lead. Oh, Frenetti holds on, and they're side by side, but almost side by side as they go back up the hill through 10B. Into the kink under the bridge at 11.
I kind of feel like Spence is just kind of biding his time. And, he's seeing what happens. But right now, I think he's got a little bit of an advantage and may try to make his late move.
Let me ask you this. They're glued together now. Everybody has that chance to lead. All three of the cars we're looking at have led. When, as the clock ticks down to the finish of this race, do you make your decisive move for the win?
Well, I think the best move, the safest, is into 10A.
Okay.
But don't be surprised if they go 3 wide into 12. And somebody might go into the wide grass over the start-finish line, which is not recommended but is legal. And the second group is catching up.
Well, somehow this man Cross has done a really good job in the 00 all-black car of holding, Mark Cash, of holding off the man behind him, Robert Spence.
And again, if you're watching from social media, I'm now logging into our Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, tell us what you want to see more of. Leave us some comments. Where are you watching from, and who are you rooting for on the SVRA app or our SVRA social media channels? Ashley, who monitors our social media, is also texting me with some questions that people are asking. So feel free, tell us what you want to see, because we got people from all over the world watching from Circuit of the Americas 2 weeks ago.
There's your new friend, Youssef Mohammed.
Yeah, Youssef, if you're watching this, let's go to dinner, dude. We had such an interesting conversation. I'd like to hear more about it.
All right, back to the leaders. And again, Frenetti in that overtaking position and makes it stick. Once again, another lead change. Fowler has to settle for second for now. Meanwhile, Spence is just watching this battle. Now, we said you can make a move into 12. We might see it here. Here we go. For the lead. Fowler, and does it. So now is that a lineup for what could be the finish?
It could be, and now look at that. The back group has worked together and caught up. So now look for Cash and the other car to really break away. They've worked as a team, and now all bets are off.
Yeah, we got a 5-way peloton at the front of Miata's Mazda. I'll tell you what, the Japanese would love this if they were tuning in, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and if you're tuning in from Japan, let us know. But we know that there's a ton of Mazda fans. Mazda has really made their imprint in the last 10 or 15 years on American motorsports and have really done a fantastic job.
It's a pretty car, but what did they get right about this car?
I think what they got, as a British car fan, I think what they got right was they
took...
Oh,
big off, big off.
Yeah,
and he's gone
into the wall.
And that
Alan Cross, he's fourth right now in NB. He went off at turn 5.
He's going to be Cross after that.
And he's trying to just safely exit the track. Talking to the corner worker there at 5. Great corner worker.
He almost joined Hamish in our camera position then.
Yeah.
That was pretty exciting stuff. But he's A-OK. And look, he's pulled it up the... there was a big off-ramp there. Yeah. So he's in safe position there. He's way out of trouble there. So that was smart by him.
Yeah, thank you, Alan Cross, because now we don't have to go to full course yellow. Again, making a great vintage racing move is the Spec Miata class that everybody told us wouldn't work, and it's working better than everything.
The tall, lean figure of the curly-haired Boris said. It's been said many times before, but this is the 16-year-old version. Same hair, same tallness as though he's still growing, but he's junior to the Boris said, who is watching nervously on the pit wall.
I just got word from Jacqueline Cottrell. She says, fun watching Skylar Cottrell. He's 17 years old from Atlanta.
He's in the all-pink number, I think.
I love it.
Here come the leaders. Back down the main straight again, and this time it's the 68 of Tom Fowler leading the way. Spence is now up to second place, so it's all Swatsies. As Frenetti is in third place now with Cash behind him. Mark Cash, the man you mentioned before, is up to fourth place, and that's the lead group. And the man you were talking about, Skylar Cottrell, is down in fifth place at the moment, but it's not over by any means. Christian Blevins behind him.
You know, there's an old joke in road racing that the answer is always Miata. How do you get faster in racing? Miata. What's the best way to get into racing? Miata. Now, what's the best way to get into vintage racing? Miata.
That's Amore.
It is. Look at that. Spence in second place. Anthony Frenetti with Cash behind him. Unfortunately, Alan Cross had that cross up at turn 5, and he's no longer in the running, but made a great move to get off the track safely.
Now, officially on the clock I'm watching, we have just over 3 minutes, which means the last lap should be coming out next. And I can see the board actually coming out because we're right above the checkered flag
there
here
he is.
at Coda. There he is, Skylar.
There's Skylar Cottrell.
You say he's from Atlanta?
He is from Atlanta, 17 years old.
Good deal. Yeah, what a great way to start racing. Love it. So,
there's my boy.
The white flag effectively will be out. It's actually a last lap board, but into 10 they come. And Spence looking for the lead. Robert Spence takes the lead.
Ooh, look at that. And, you know, he was just kind of waiting back there waiting for his time, watching the fight between Frenetti and Fowler, and now he's taking the lead. But I don't know if it's last lap. I think Frenetti may be in the best seat.
It is last lap as they come across. There's the board, you see it for yourself, LL, and the 59 of Robert Spence leads, but only for a few seconds because Tom Fowler comes up the inside at turn 1 and takes the lead. Frenetti is coming with him, side by side over 2, and it's going to get interesting through the S's for sure. Watch out for Cash as well. Mark Cash in the black and yellow in 4th position.
Look at that. He wants to make a move at 5. Cash does.
Yep. Well, the next possible overtake is at 6, but you've got to get good drive out of here to be able to do it. And not do that.
Here they come.
Oh, this has been a fascinating peloton, as it were.
Yeah, but I don't know if Spence can make it up in this long back straight. He and Frenetti have to work together in a draft, I think, to be able to catch Fowler. That's quite a gap. Look for a duck under, what we call a dive bomb into 10A.
Here they come. From the drone, you can see the snake that is the top 4. They are way ahead of the chasing pack.
Yeah.
And, in fact, the leader has got the most I've seen. Robert Spence has actually got the gap that he needs. And as long as he can maintain that gap, they shouldn't catch him. Here comes Frenetti.
That was not a Miata passing us.
Frenetti looking for second place. He's got to make this stick. He's got to make sure he doesn't break. Oh, over. Look at this. Fowler. Oh, that was sneaky good work.
Cash coming up by Frenetti.
And it's going to be that Robert Spence. Robert Spence coming to the line. And here comes Cash. Yes, you're right. Mark Cash going to cash in if he can.
Ooh.
But across the line, Tom Fowler takes the win in the 68. And Robert Spence takes second. Frenetti takes third. And Mark Cash does have to settle for 4th place despite making a really good maneuver. But what a great race that was.
Yeah, let's see if camera 1 will go back to that start-finish line so we can see. But, man, Miatas, I love this racing. It is so much fun to watch. Always close finishes. Again, go back on our social media and watch that. Kenneth Manella, again, joining us. Zach Eckler on social media. Tom Payne, thank you guys so much for joining us as we watch Boris Said, the 4th, cross the finish line. It's always fun to see. His first time in a race car. Doing a great job, doing exactly what Ben and the Advanced Autosport team wanted him to do. He lost 3rd gear in his practice. It wasn't his fault. And they said that they have changed the transmission in these Spec Miatas in 28 minutes. And I watched them do it. They took 42 minutes because they took their time a little bit. They went under a time crunch. But again, amazing. And there's Yusuf Muhammad from Atlanta, first time with SVRA. Yusuf, welcome. Good stuff. Flash the lights to our man up in turn 1. And there it is, the Mazda Miata Heritage Cup. What the vintage racers told us could never happen is just showing everybody that it's some of the best racing in vintage racing.
Excellent stuff, really good. And yeah, it's great to watch Miata racing from a drone as well because you really got to see how they race, much better than any other form of looking at them because you see the slipstreaming starting to emerge and then starting to happen. Confirmation of the result then, Tom Fowler with the win. Robert Spence settles for second. Anthony Fornetti, who had led, was third. Mark Cash almost got on the podium, but not to be. Christian Blevins, fifth. Skylar Cottrell, the local man from Atlanta, gets sixth place. The teenager, Bill Miller, seventh. Boris Said Jr. in his first ever car race takes eighth. Not bad for a chip off the old block. Yusuf Muhammad, welcome aboard. He takes ninth, and Delaney Calhoun takes 10th place. So, good stuff. And we'll continue now with our SVRA coverage because we've got several races now coming in our group races. And that's always interesting because it's a look back in history. And I'll try to keep hold of Ben because I need him to hang out and work with me on these fantastic cars coming up. And he has an absolute knowledge of them. He's been in here all week setting them up and setting up the stage for the car shows here. Plenty going on. But that's the result then for the SVRA Miata Heritage Cup. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back from Road Atlanta in a moment.